thank you so much, man. I'm pretty excited. Not only that we're here and your new spot, we'll talk about that. You're guest number one, dude. You're guest number one. You had to. We had to bring the amazing Jordan Hoffart on, the beef.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, you can only go up from there. You start at the bottom, right?
Well, thank you, man. This is fucking awesome. I finally get Rick Romero, my producer that has been behind the scenes for all of the Dedicated to the Craft episodes.
Yep.
He's been behind the camera, behind the magic, and now
He's slowly making
part of
his
the
way
show.
up. Now his voice will be heard.
I know. It's going to get a little bit more baritone, too.
Yeah,
gonna
I'm gonna
get-
have the most space out of all of us on the editing here.
Dude, your voice is going to fucking be really smooth and sexy once he edits.
That should be the first of it. 1 million followers, Rick reveal.
And look at this. I got my laptop open here, and I could fact check you now.
Damn. I knew there was a downfall to this whole thing.
Yeah. Nope, that was wrong.
Because we're going to be saying a lot of things that are inaccurate and untrue on this show.
Possible.
But I'm happy. I'm happy to be here.
Just like
can
the
we call it
news.
North Park, Black Plague North Park Studios? Can we call it that?
Jared,
I just
what's
did.
your verdict on that one?
I just did.
Black Plague North Park Studios?
Wait, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be that, but it is.
It's a dearly
Black Plague
departed
Studios?
studios?
Wait, is that?
We're gonna need a written agreement.
You guys have a name for your location, at least a purgatory, right?
Yeah, this one's called Dearly Departed. Yes.
Breaking news. You heard it here
Breaking
first.
news.
You heard it here first.
Well, obviously we just did our soft opening, but we have a mural planned. And when I say Jared has a mural planned. I'm gonna take zero credit for that one.
Dude, this place is sick, man. So let's talk about our new studio and what that means to the neighborhood, dude. Abel, we got Abel over there for just catching a slight morning buzz from. Yeah, you are, dude. Yeah. Where's the applause sign, Rick? Yeah.
Little flashing sign.
Well, dude, we got a North Park native here because you guys are coming in hot. You guys are coming in from the other side of the town, but Abel here, this is his hood.
We're coming into your hood.
He's more like a bouncer.
It's all good in the hood.
He's like overseeing this more than anything.
There it is.
Look, for whatever reason, this place was home to a previous brewery, awesome crew, awesome beer, and the only thing that we can expect in this town is that when anybody dope leaves, somebody dope comes in, and that's what happened here. And I, for one, know, because I've heard a lot of people just voice their excitement about you boys moving in. So what's up with that? Why this spot? Is it just because it was available? Have you guys had your eye on this neck of the woods?
Yeah. We were looking in North Park prior to COVID. 2019, we actually got we submitted plans for off Utah and El Cajon Boulevard, literally next door to what would be Pure now. Was that mattress store?
Oh yeah.
So that was in the running, and then COVID hit, and we went back and forth with the city for about 16 months, and they lost 42 sets of plans. I'm not making that number up. And they ultimately revoked our approval due to lack of parking. Now, this was after we had already been approved. They called us, we're approved in the system. They said, come down, pick up your set of plans, and we were going to start construction. We came down to pay the fees.
And they said no.
And they lost the plans again. We had to go get 2 more sets, submitted them. They said they were going to hand walk them to all the departments, because, again, the departments, because of COVID, were all over the place, right? Working remote. And,
damn.
And it got back to zoning, which was actually the first department that signed off the approval, like right out of the chute. Came back, and the guy that was, he's like, I haven't seen these plans. And we're like, no, they're already approved in the system. You just need
that's your name on it.
Yeah, you just need
that's
to
your stamp.
No, I'm gonna have to review these plans again. And came back, and
come on, city.
Yeah, our lawyers got involved.
What?
And we ended up having to walk away. It was terrible. So it was like
And that happened 42 times.
Exactly.
What?
It's Groundhog's Day.
And my birthday, bro.
Yeah.
February 2nd, dog?
Yeah, we already had a lease signed. Everything. It was all teed up, and they just ripped it away. So we have been looking at North Park since then. And this was always where we wanted to be. And then fast forward, we ended up finding that spot in downtown Escondido, which was primarily already built out.
The Purgatory Lounge.
The Purgatory Lounge. So we shifted our focus there last year, got that open in September of 2022. And then coming into spring, we saw that article that Ruler and Raleigh put out, and saw that they were growing down, and this space potentially could be up for grabs. It wasn't stated that, so I just reached out to Raleigh and said, hey, what's going on with that space?
Nice.
We would love to work something out, and signed the lease on the 15th of June, and had our soft opening in how many days? 18 days.
18 days. Is that
18-day turnaround.
Like, I'm not an entrepreneur. I've never opened up. Is that like a record?
It might be a Guinness World Record.
Dude.
Whoever's the officials, they need to get
Now,
down
okay,
here.
well, do you have any?
I want a plaque, basically.
Let's get him a plaque. Come on, city. Is there any kind of idea, or do you have any sort of inclination as why that got passed through so fast? Was it because you guys had already done most of the work that needed to be prepared and just submitted it? Or were they just like, let's get somebody in here? What the fuck?
Yeah, so the landlord, there was stipulations on the lease transfer. Like, we had to sign the lease in order for them to terminate there. So that was the motive on that end. And then because it was a transfer, because of the kitchen and transfer license, like, there really was, we weren't modifying the kitchen by any stretch, and it's like the menu for the most part, like, we're using the existing equipment, so it'll all be based off the equipment that was available.
Pretty
so
plug and play.
It was super plug and play, and we paid our fees, and and then with the ABC, same thing. It was a transfer of a Type 23 duplicate license. So again, not many modifications from the actual like serving area or the layout. So it was actually pretty streamlined.
Damn,
Obviously,
you got those
obviously it was streamlined.
They got those dark arts working on their side. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing those dark arts, bro.
Yeah.
That's
Yes, yeah.
how were they babies? Well,
It's tough to
when do you
tell
stop
if
being-
they were babies.
Yeah, when do you stop being a baby though? Is that 2? When do you become a toddler?
I mean, 3 days, like that's
Yeah.
that's baby.
Yeah. Well, that we used the skeleton for the table, so I think that's a full size.
Look, man, you guys you guys are making it your own. Like you said, there wasn't a lot that needed to be done as far as a structural, as far as the structure.
Right.
But you guys have a vibe. You guys have, your brand image and stuff. And I think, and I've told this to you before, I think it's perfect considering who your neighbor is. And it's not like that they only play metal or rock or anything like that, but the observatory is right next door. It's a super awesome venue, and we have like an eclectic, they have an eclectic set list. There's a lot of various artists that come in, but there's something about what you guys have created and your vibe
Yeah.
that makes me feel like it's just more of an attraction to, pre-game or post-show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys were thinking about that.
Oh, 1,000%.
1,000%.
1,000%. No, I mean, we knew that we had to cater to the space and the events that were happening here. And, music, more hardcore music is definitely a part of our culture. And we have tons of awesome punk shows and rock shows. Not all, but a lot of them. And we knew that the synergy between the venues could really resonate with each other. And this could be the spot, to your point.
It is going to be the spot, and I don't want to make it sound as though the previous tenants were not like scratching that itch or whatever, but it is a vibe.
Yeah.
And in this town, and
You can't ignore the vibe.
You can't ignore it, dude.
Can't
and
ignore
you
the
can't
vibe.
ignore that there's just certain spots that you want to go to, because
Why would you want to
they
ignore the
seem-
vibe, though?
it's the only thing that's really going to separate you at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you got Fall down the street, love Fall, but I go to Fall. It just so happens that you guys have great beers, but it also helps that you guys have like a rad aesthetic.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of into the shit that I'm into, and it's not for everybody, and that's why everybody doesn't go there, but there's a home for it. And so this place is perfect for you guys, man.
What kind of shit are you into, Jeff?
Rick? This is a free show now. Can we? We're gonna get in
yeah,
trouble?
Let's test this free show, huh? Let's test how free this show is.
Let's shift the conversation.
Well, I think that this deserves a little celebration, and I'm going to crack open one of the beers that, for anybody that's not watching, we got some Black Plague
Yeah, can I do
beers.
the-
We got a lineup. Jordan can talk about them. In fact, you can pick the first one that we're going to crack open right now, baby.
Cool. Let's crack open the latest addition to the lineup. This is Stay Chill. It's a blonde ale, but it's a gluten reduced blonde ale. So much in fact that
By
even
design?
yes, by design. Even if you're a celiac, like you should be able to enjoy one of these.
Can you
bad
say that
boys.
legally? Like the...
Well, I mean,
No, I'm sure.
I've had, yeah. I mean, not by FDA regulation. No, we'd have to go get it tested. But
Someone's just going to...
I gave them to a few of my celiac friends, and they didn't die. So, I mean, that's a good sign, right?
Oh, I think that's all you need. I really think that's all you need. Awesome, dude.
So let's crack that
you
open.
you
Something
a
nice
tasting
and
glass
light.
over there, buddy. You better come and get this stuff.
4.8%. Super crushable.
Let's see.
I know that's a term that's overused, but it is a.
Is it?
It's such a fitting term, though. It's like find me another word that just
Quaffable.
you say crushable, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I get it."
What do you feel like when you hear crushable? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear crushable, Rick?
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash? Crushable? Like, I think just... Does he overuse it?
He says that like
Mount
a lot.
Rushmore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mount
that's a good-
Rushmore.
That was a good one. That's a Paul Segura term for sure.
Oh,
I
well,
love
you know,
that
he
one.
could say it.
He can.
say it.
The
That should be
lawnmower
a beer,
beers,
though. That should be a
lawnmower
beer name.
beers.
If you're Paul Segura, you can say Mount Crushable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Ice Cube would get shit for saying Mount Crushable or whatever the fuck, or Crushmore or whatever. But he can do it. He can do it. Dude, thank you, man. Cheers.
Yeah, you got it, buddy.
Hell yeah, look at this sick ass.
Let me see you get nerdy about this. I want to see, like, you know, how do you do
Oh,
it?
right away on the nose, like I get no gluten. Right away.
Right, yeah.
Right away.
Those molecules just
Yeah,
stripped away.
yeah,
All right, let's
dude. I
pull
mean, you
that
can
shit
really
right out
tell
of
when there's a gluten-free beer or gluten reduced. I think that's actually how you have to say it.
It is.
I think you have to say gluten reduced.
Yeah, you literally have to go get it tested. If you're going to claim gluten-free, you have to go get it tested.
Yeah, and as far as I know, it's quick and easy. It doesn't really do too much to the beer. It just it's an enzyme that you introduce. I think the enzyme actually helps with clarification, but as a side effect, it will break it down, and you'll get some celiacs buzzed with it with no problem. I like it. It's very crushable.
Yeah, it is very crushable. So here's a little fun fact. We actually brewed our first gluten-reduced beer with Duckfoot Brewing called Stoked, and it was a Vienna lager brewed with oak spirals.
Oh,
It was fucking delicious.
I didn't have it, but I like Duckfoot.
Yeah, and it was with Matt Del Vecchio is a good buddy of mine, ours I should say, and he's a celiac, so that's why
all of their
Duckfoot is all of their beers are. I'm putting words in his mouth, but I don't know if all of their beers are.
No, I think they are.
But I'm pretty sure all of them are.
I think they are all gluten
Gluten
reduced, and they don't really pimp that all too much. Like, it's not something that they have on their billboards, but it's just cool to know. In fact, they should.
I think you got to be careful with that term because you don't want to pigeonhole yourself too much. Like, oh, I don't need to worry about gluten reduction.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's not really. It's just a happen to be one of the benefits.
Well, the thought process behind this beer was to cater to the
Yeah.
people that can come in and drink your beer, right?
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of breweries out there, a lot of products, a lot of great beer out there. We're a Type 23, beer manufacturer, but it doesn't translate to the general public. Let's face it. People come in, think you're a bar to some degree, and they want RTDs, they want wine, they want something that's gluten-free or gluten-reduced or, lower calories. They want something that's just not beer. And you're like, well, on one hand, you're like, it's a brewery.
We're a brewery, dude.
But I get it, and
You
it's
can brew
like,
tea, though.
well, you can do, yeah. I mean, but there's always a group that comes in, and one of the 5 people doesn't drink beer. And so are you going to lose that customer, or are you going to shift your operation to at least have an option to cater to keep everybody there?
Well, there's
and having a good time?
like two ways of looking at it. One, like you described in the entrepreneurial sense, why would you leave money on the table? And then from another component, because I get asked this all the time, dude. Like,
Yeah.
don't you hate the kombucha craze, or don't you hate the cider thing taking off? I'm like, no, I think it's kind of rad.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want people to have options?
Well, I mean, it's evolution. I mean, it's finding finding the next new thing. If you didn't experiment and do these things, then beer wouldn't evolve at all. We would have never got cold IPAs. We would have never got hazy IPAs. Hate them or love them. We would have never got
Milkshake this. and-
any of this style. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
all like, to me, it's like it's short-sighted, and you're kind of just, there's tradition in that sense, but the envelope, you either evolve or die. That's just, I don't care if you're in craft beer. I don't care what any industry. I mean, look at AI right now. It's like it's stealing people's jobs. People are all up in arms about it, but it's like that's evolution, man. It's like there's nothing you can do to stop it. So you either got to adapt, and that's just life. Dude. You got to adapt.
The AI conversation is kind of cool because there's a whole, like in the very beginning, once this thing was being uncovered, the chat GPTs and all these other chat bots that are out there, that Bard and some of them that are even better than chat GPT, was this fear that coders were going to go away, jobs are going to go away. And it's only true if those particular people in that particular field don't adapt. And that's kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like there's this whole thing. Have you heard of like the prompt engineering that is, it's kind of like understanding what the AI's parameters are and what their limits are and being able to get what you want perfectly. A lot of that has to do with the way that you understand the language or the way that the software is going to interpret it, right? So like there's these courses now on just literally it's just prompt engineering. So I can say, you know, give me a recipe for a beer. And then there's, with a little bit of prompt engineering background, you can get something that's very, very tailored to what exactly you need for your brew house or this and this and that.
Asking the right questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know what jobs are going to go away though, because the thing is,
It's going to create new jobs.
it's going to create new jobs. So
Different
there's
jobs.
definitely going to be some that'll go away, but then there's going to be some that are going to come into play. But I don't know if it's going to be a symbiosis or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to level out.
Yeah. It's at the end of the day, it's like you kind of just like, you know, we put our heart and soul day in, day out. I mean, we got Jared in the background putting artwork up in our third taster.
Looks
You got the
good doing it.
CEO doing, you know, rolling his sleeves up and getting it done to this day. So it comes to, for a lot of people, I think it comes down to bandwidth. Like, oh, I'm just so maxed. I don't want to learn anymore. I don't want to change. It's like I don't have anything left to, my tank's empty, you know what I mean? So I think that battle plays into a lot of it, you know what I mean? And I know, like, you know, breweries, brewing, production, it's very labor intensive. It's long days. It's hot. Like, there's bandwidth. And I think, you know, especially in today's race or, you know, staying relevant and there's all, I think bandwidths are pretty maxed right now across the board.
Are you saying that there is AI brewers now too? Like you guys don't have to do anything?
You're not.
This beer tastes a little.
Yeah, a little artificial.
Did this taste
yeah, like.
I mean, Eric would backhand you.
I would welcome an Eric backhand just to say that I got backhanded by Eric. Like, dude, you see that guy over there? Yeah, I got backhanded by that dude. It was rad. It was awesome.
Yeah. No, but you know,
There's gonna come a point though where that's not like a faux pas or whatever.
No.
They're gonna be like, yeah, I used a little bit of AI to
I mean, there's
help
already automation.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
AleSmith has like a fully automated brew house, right? And the brewer's on his laptop.
The question
and
is at
as far
what
as I
point?
understand.
At what point? Where's your threshold?
Exactly.
As what is creative and uniquely yours, and what is not? You know?
Get in here. Get in here, dude.
Get in here, fool.
Jared Doss, ladies and gentlemen.
They already produced an AI designed beer, this brewery. There's a couple of other ones that have done it too.
So Modus Brewing release AI designed beer.
Atwater
Det-
Brewery.
I'm gonna grab another blonde.
A lot of people are using it exactly the way you said.
Well, you're using it, Jared. We were just talking about it earlier. Like you're using it, and it. Here's the thing: if you embrace it and you use it, it could be it's a tool more than anything, right? It's a tool more than anything. Look at that. Fuck yeah.
So,
Let me pour you now, dude, in the sick ass glass.
Pretty
Look at
s-
this.
so what do you think? Pretty sucky.
No, dude, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm still chill. I'm still chill.
Stay chill,
Dude,
baby.
I'm still chill.
So this humble guy right here, I'm gonna just keep referencing him. So Jared actually does all of our artwork and label design and everything. So as you can see, like some of the newer brands, let's just compare it. So this say like Hazy Scandal. It was the first hazy IPA that we released into the market. I think this was in 2018. And then this was the general logo when we launched. It was the Black Plague on top. We had the Plague Doctor
Plague
with
Doctor.
the shield, and then the brand across the shield logo, and then on the back we had individual art to represent the actual brand.
Right.
If you see the new stuff, it's
Looks very different.
stay chill. It's all up in that.
That gives me Stone Cold vibes, dude. I feel like you need to pound that right now.
Already done.
I like it though.
Already
I like
done.
it, dude. It stands out.
You
That's
know?
for sure.
Yeah. So giving a little bit more freedom of just catering to an actual, like highlighting the actual brand as opposed to the, time and time again. That's not AI.
I was gonna ask, dude. I was like, dude, I think
This is
Mid-Journey
JD.
spit that
This
out
is
on my
JD.
end too, dude.
This is Jared Doss. But you see what I'm saying?
Damn, Jared, you're such a stud, dude. Your artwork is sick. And honestly, dude, when Jordan told us that you were the guy responsible for this, I was a little taken back. Not that you don't look like it, but it's like it's not very common to know that one of the founders or the owners of a brand, especially in the craft beer space, is doing the art for it. They usually like have somebody else come in and whatever. That's not their aptitude, but this is the shit, and it's iconic.
This is the shit that he likes to do. Coincident?
Yeah, it's definitely cheaper, I bet.
Yeah.
Dude, it's sick, dude, and I like this beer a lot. And it's different because I've been a Black Plague fan now for a while, so this for me really stands out. Everybody that's just discovering is going to go down your portfolio and go like, "Whoa, what is that?" But for me and for anybody else that has been like regular Black Plague fans, are like, "Oh, this is different.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool." But it doesn't seem like you guys are going a different way with your marketing. Did you guys see the new Fat Tire, the New Belgium Fat Tire thing, the rebrand? It looks like they just went a completely different direction. That's fine. Fuck yeah, go you.
Is that Kieran influence now, though? I
Is
mean,
it?
that's who owns New Belgium.
Yeah. But it makes sense. It makes sense.
We actually have distribution out in Japan. Binge, Craft.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, they've been marketing really awesome out there. Those are good guys.
You guys are huge in Japan, huh?
Well, I think one day we'll be able to say that, maybe.
I think you guys
They're
are.
doing a great job. So shout out Aki and Binge and all the Japanese homies that are spreading the plague over Japan.
Damn, dude. A few years ago, it would be dangerous to say that.
Yeah.
But I love it. No, dude, I
We're okay to say that now, right? It's 2023. We're good.
look at you, dude. You're young. You can say whatever you want. No one's going to come after you. Die.
Get after me.
No,
I
I-
wish they would sometimes.
All this muscle for what? Oh. Dude,
Can't skate anymore. I gotta work out. I gotta do something.
all right, look, on Dedicated to the Craft, which considering it's the first show of the Boil Over, I think that it warrants a little bit of an explanation. Dedicated to the Craft was a podcast that me and Rick were doing, and it was for Ballast Point, of which a company of which I still am employed by. But we're taking a different direction. We're detaching. We're getting off the teat, and we are doing our own show. And this is where this podcast is coming from. However, to anybody listening or watching, Black Plague was on Dedicated to the Craft, and there's a whole episode kind of going through your origin story. And I didn't want to. Because I still want to direct people to Dedicated to the Craft, because I thought we did a really good job with it, and there was a lot of great guests and stories there. So I'm going to keep on pushing people that way, but I don't want to sound redundant on this show. So we won't go through the Black Plague origin stories. If you want to know what Black Plague is about and how they started, you guys can go watch that episode. I don't know what episode that is, Rick. Maybe you can look it up so I can say it at the end. But what you guys are doing now is, since that episode, you guys have brought in some new tanks to your main brewery. You guys opened the Purgatory Lounge. You might have already had it at the time that we were talking. And then you got this spot.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned something that I think is interesting. You're hearing it a little bit more often, growing down.
Yes.
In this town, you got Tommy Arthur growing down. You got a bunch of breweries that I know are thinking about it. What does that mean to you? Because it's kind of a new way of looking at downsizing.
Yeah, I think it was a clever marketing spin, for sure. Growing down, it sounds like, I think it was short for everyone's hurting and they need to reel it in because everyone's spread too thin. And coming out of COVID, it's been super tough for everybody. And we got all that free money that is actually not free, and debts are coming due. And
Uncle Sam wants this.
you know what I mean? And
More beer.
the reality, the lingering effects, the economy effects of COVID are real, and everyone's facing it, and we're all kind of in the same thing. Along with the inflation, prices of raw materials and utilities,
Energy,
insurance,
yeah,
minimum wage, everything's going up. So you got those things playing against you, and then just the sheer saturation of the market too. I mean, it's starting to level out based off the Brewers Association the statistics, but pretty much since we opened, we were like 4,550 something brewery to open in the United States, independent brewery, and now we're toppling our almost 10,000 independent craft beer breweries in the United States, and it's starting to level out. But I mean, when the economy's good, it could probably sustain that many. But when people are tightening up their wallets and retracting a little bit, I mean, the luxuries are the first things to go, and I think unfortunately craft beer kind of falls into that category.
I don't know who's going to be able to withstand or hold out, let's say, or ride this plateau until there's another spike. But, we're talking about growing down, but quite honestly, it doesn't seem like you guys are growing down. I mean, you guys just opened up a new spot. So in that sense, what does it say to you? Like, if you had to take a personal look, and it's okay if you want to peacock a little bit, but like, what does it say about your brand or about, well, everyone is being a little hesitant and pumping the brakes. You guys are going all in, and you guys are opening up a new tasting room. That says something about what you guys think about your brand.
Well, for us, it's like we seek out these opportunities because when you say growing down, I think it means like more growing local. So we wanted to double down from our local, what would you call it? Presence, I guess you could say. I think from a wholesale distribution standpoint, it's tougher for everybody, us included, to get traction. And so that's kind of the playoffs. But with that, it's like you have a lot more control over a variety of things. The quality of your beer, I mean, you can, from start to finish, you can monitor, and it's not just sending it out to a distributor and hoping for the best.
That's a good point.
So there's that. But also the over-the-counter margin is better. So you're producing the same. We're not necessarily producing a whole lot more beer, but we're, able to retain a better margin going over the counter. And that, in turn, filters back to the culture, the staff, the demands, all the internal structure, making sure we're not cutting corners, and we're, financing all the things, the internals and internal structure of the business to make sure it's sustainable and responsibly can grow without, patch jobbing a bunch of stuff, and then you get too big and it all crumbles down. So doing it the right way, so to speak.
Look at you. You EBITDA, Emperor, whatever the hell it is.
EBITDA,
baby.
Yeah.
I'm going to get your head that says EBITDA.
Stay in the black, baby.
Look, it's scary.
Or get to the black. That's the
get
race,
to Black
race to
Plague.
the black, yeah.
Get to Black Plague. I think that's the right way of looking at it, and it's so funny that you have to remind people that that's the way you should look at it. It's kind of...
I don't think it's natural.
Figured out.
I don't think it's natural for people to look at it that way.
Well, it's natural for people to get excited and there's this concept of there's not enough air in the room.
Yeah.
Everybody gets really shaking their boots when somebody moves into town or right across the street, kind of doing the same thing that they're kind of doing. And then there's this race to win. But the honest truth, and we've talked about it with other guests on the show. It's like the whole, I don't know, the romanticism about the craft beer community was that nobody was giving a shit about that in the beginning. It's like, dude, we'll help you out. Hey, you need to grow?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Here's some yeast. Here's some malt. Don't worry about it. Like, let's help you grow. You're like, really? But I'm around the corner. I'm kind of your competition. You go like, you're our competition, but we need you. The better you do, the better we do, and vice versa.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, at the end of the day, it still is a super solid, close community. And I mean, just at our soft opening, seeing all the familiar faces and feeling the support.
Soft opening was dope.
That's everything, though. You know what I mean? And it's like they know. I mean, I know they got our back, and we got their back, and it's like it's all ships rise with the tide mentality, and you got to have each other's back, because if it gets to a point where it's just dog eat dog, and I mean, what's the point at that point? Yeah, it's a race to the bottom. Yeah. And it's cutthroat, and then it's like, well, what joy are we bringing to each other and this industry in general? Like, why even exist?
I've always thought of it, and I don't know if this even makes sense anymore because I thought about it again and I was like, I said that, and I don't even know if it translates well. But it's almost like this food court concept where you don't want to be the only restaurant at the food court,
Right.
because then it becomes not a food court, and then hence you lose a lot of the foot traffic that would go there for options
Right.
and variety.
Right.
And if you're the only option, there's no variety, and hence you don't get any foot traffic.
Right.
And that's kind of what it is.
Well, we kind of see like it's all opportunity too, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like the more competition just forces you to bring your A game and improve yourself.
That's it.
And improve your brand and do the best you can and learn and adapt and grow. And so my mentality, if someone's very like anti people coming in, it's to me that's like they don't have a lot of confidence in their product.
100%.
They don't believe in themselves. They don't want to put the work in. That's kind of where I picture that mentality coming from. And so for us, it's like, I mean, I'm not trying to peacock, but we put the work in day out. It's not like we
Personally,
have.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, we still to this day we work at least 10 plus hours a day, and then all weekend we're either online or on Slack or dealing with issues, or it's 24/7. But I'm not complaining because that's what we signed up for.
But that's part of it.
That's part of it.
Part of the enjoyment of it. Like watching Jared just put up, like right now he's working. Right now, this dude is one of the
can
owners.
you turn the cameras onto this
look
fucking
at
legend
Jared.
right now?
Look at what he's doing, dude.
Look at this.
And he looks good doing it too.
He
Look
does.
at that. Uh-oh. Look, he's gonna screw the same screw in for a while.
Look at that.
As long as the camera's on.
Oh, look at that sexual chocolate.
Jesus. I've seen screws go in. I don't think I've ever seen a screw going that well. Jesus,
buddy.
look, dude. Hey, that's not a Milwaukee though, bro.
Yeah.
It's not a Milwaukee drill.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are doing here. What is this? What kind of circus is this? No, I agree. I think that you guys are wearing it on your sleeve. Your crew is working hard. Eric and Danny and all the boys over making the beer. You talk to those guys and they're not taking any shortcuts or cutting any corners. Your front of the house, that's another thing. Me and Rick have talked about it. We've talked about how people underestimate how important it is to staff correctly. Look, Abel, I'm gonna rub Abel's shoulders right now. But like the front of the house, the beer tenders, the people that are gonna be your first interaction
100%.
with that conduit that is actually gonna be a representative of the whole fucking thing in a very short time span.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm at the counter, you're a part of this place, I want to be happy from here to when I leave the counter.
So critical.
It's so weird how important that piece is, that component, and you guys have done a really good job staffing everybody that I've met at, whether it's at your brewery there or when we came to your soft opening. I was like, hell yeah, these guys know how to pick them. And that's a big part of it.
Well, it doesn't sound on the backside. It's not as sexy when you think of like the answer as to why that is. But it comes down to process and building systems. And as much as people just want to think like, oh, you guys just found cool people, it's like, nope. We put a system in place to filter out the duds. And bring in some.
No
really
offense
cool.
to any of you out there that got your rejection letter from Black Flag, North Park. Sorry, dudes.
Yeah.
Dude, everybody wanted to work here. I got rejected.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. We burned it. We
Can't
burned that
afford
recipe.
me, dog.
I think we
me.
rolled hops in and smoked it.
Rick got rejected. We had a long night. Me and Rick. We
poured one out for Jeff that night.
we were a little hurt. Honestly, I'm a little
We
confused.
were more concerned about your commute. We were just like, we don't want to sign him up for this. He's going to be
Once I got the letter, the rejection letter that said that I was overqualified, I got it. Like, I don't know what I need to do in this town.
Yeah. What are you doing, dude?
But it is. Look, I know that you guys retained a few folks from the previous thing, and one, that's smart. But two, they already have, let's call it a following.
Yeah.
Right? Like people that feel really comfortable with them. And if you are able to identify, hey, this beer tender, he or she has people that come in like just on their shifts.
Right.
It's important to recognize that, because not only is it good for your business, but it's good to, fine tune your radar as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And just keep that pretty sharp, like that focus and knowing I can still identify talent.
Yeah.
And that's huge. Dude.
Yeah, you got to keep, and that's part of, I think, one of the strong benefits, I'm thinking of the wrong term, but of being so still intimately tied. I don't want to say being in the weeds, but having an ear to the streets and being so involved. Is
Fingers on the pulse.
Fingers on the pulse. You still have that gauge, and you're not just like coming in completely unbeknownst and unaware of what's actually going on in real time. You still are really tuned into the day-to-day operation. And our whole thing is meritocracy. So if we have great employees, like right when they're out of the chute, we ask them what their goals and aspirations are long term, because we want to know. Are you just here as a part-time? You want to be a beer server and make some good tips, and while you're going to school and you got another career going? Great, awesome. But is this, are you interested in craft beer? Do you want to get in the production side? Do you want to grow at the front of house, or is there a marketing kind of angle that you're going to? Like, what do you want? And then based off the skills that they present and the value that they bring to the table, it's like those opportunities, we want to reward that. So
it's embarrassing that that's a thing that that stands out.
Yeah.
Right. It's great that you guys are doing it, but it is embarrassing that the majority of companies or people that are hiring don't see that is the first step into developing not only the right person for your company, but the right person for, I don't know, society, to not get too overarching about it. It's kind of like what you really want at the end of the day is to be able to go like, fuck yeah, we did our best to make them the best that they could be for us. And also we were able to like pat them in the back if they choose to leave, and know that what they learned here is going to help them succeed somewhere else, especially if they were a great asset to your company while they were here.
Well, there's that saying, and I'm probably going to botch this, but Jerry, you can probably help me, but it's like a good mentor knows that your employee's going, or a good employee is going to leave, but a great mentor, what's that saying? Rick, bring that up. I mean, it's so true though. It's like for you to think that you're going to retain and hold on to this person and choke out their own personal growth for your own benefit indefinitely is just not realistic.
And it's respectful.
Yeah.
It's respectful to them.
But not only that, I mean, it's so short-sighted in the sense that like you need, as your company grows, like responsibly, you need, as a leader, what benefit are you showing just holding the reins over everybody and micromanaging? You're choking out your own business. Like you can't grow and have your finger in every single pot in every single department. And you need to find the people and train them. That's your job as a leader, so that they can run their department and they can make the decisions based off what's good for the company.
And you're not fostering this idea or this notion of creativity.
Yeah.
You're not fostering it. You're saying, hey, I control everything. Just do what I say. And they're going to be saying, well, man, I had this great idea that I think could really be beneficial, but the guy in charge is just not hearing it. So I'll just take it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then you're also not only, like to Jared's point, not only are you going to have a bunch of unskilled workers, you're going to have a bunch of unskilled workers that are thinking about leaving with all of your ideas and then making them better outside. And then they become competition. And that's great, but that's not the way that you want to go about it. So I like it, man. And that's strange. And I've always wanted to talk to you about your ideas about entrepreneurship. Like, you're a pro skater, gone into the beer business, but when did you put that entrepreneur hat on, dude? Like, when did you be like, yo, I want to make my life harder? Like, when did you make that decision, dude?
I think when I became a father.
That's What am I cracking open, by the way?
I mean-
Hazy Scandal, Gothica, Nyjah,
All right.
Tony Hops. What am I? Before you answer that,
You know what? Let's go. What? You already opened Gothica, so that's just getting flat in there. Come on, get out.
is that what you
big
want to
guy.
drink?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we'll
Then
go
let's do it.
light to heavy.
Okay, all right.
Light to heavy.
Little flight.
So this is our Mexican lager. This is our core Mexican lager.
A little bit. We got some more beers.
Yeah. We're good.
And I'm gonna give
We're
some
good.
to Ricky Rowe over there and Abel.
There
Hey,
we go.
there's a little bit in here, and then come on, we're gonna get this right now.
I mean,
you
there's-
could come in the shot, right?
We got 3 other ones. We can just give you those.
Yeah, okay. then do that. Then do that. Ricky.
But yeah, this beer. When did we release this one? It was fairly 2018 as well. 2019. I know our head brewer Eric Heeg has done a great job.
about him.
Dialing it in and evolving it. I think it's the best it's ever been.
Ooh.
It's our number 3 in our portfolio from a distribution standpoint as far as sales volume, but it's actually consistently number 1 or 2 in our own tasting rooms. So
That's what you want to drink, though.
yeah,
That's what you
it's
want.
Modelo. It's a craft. It's the brewer's Modelo. If that
Ooh,
makes
I was
sense.
gonna.
Craft
I was
brewer's
worried
Modelo.
about what beer, what big beer you're gonna.
Yeah,
you
I
could
mean,
get canceled again. You could have gone canceled right away.
Fuck it, get it. Do it.
Get it.
Do it. It's
Cancel
fine.
culture.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
No, it's really good, dude. It's really good. It has slight hints of that sulfur that I'm looking for in
Oh, that's not
lager. No. You want it in a little bit. You want a little bit.
A little bit. You don't want that farty out.
No,
the
you don't
tank.
want that, but
No.
you want a little bit of it.
Definitely don't want that.
You definitely want a little bit.
Don't want our office. Huh?
Yeah, dude. It's queefable.
It is.
It's definitely queefable. Hell no. Queefable is a new thing. Rick, we're making it happen.
Is that the new crushable? Yeah.
Urban Dictionary that thing. Make sure that we don't get canceled.
But-
Okay.
Yeah, it's clean. It's clean. It's crushable. It's queefable.
Queefable, bro.
Yeah.
That's
It's,
even better than Mount
refreshing.
Rushmore. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's what? Mount Queefable? Dang, bro. I wonder, if they chisel that into the mountain, I wonder what that would look like. I hope they don't. So, entrepreneur, Jordan Hoffart, entrepreneur hat.
Yeah.
It gets put on.
Well, it amplifies
Jordan and Jared.
Yeah, when you work with a guy like Jared, who's equally, if not more, entrepreneurial mind.
Well, yeah, look,
As
you're
a-
just drinking beers. He's over there working.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. I just talk and he gets all
Gift of
the
gab.
heavy lifting done. No, it's the synergy between, he makes me bring my A game and I hopefully make him reciprocate and bring his A game. We feed off each other and we've always been go-getters. We can't sit still. I mean, you see my mind off the air. It's
Dude, you're
like
racing 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah,
dude.
we're racing 1,000 miles an hour, and at this point, you can't turn it off because you literally just can't turn it off, or things will, start to fall apart, and will start to fall apart. So we've gotten really good at distracting ourselves with work, and we got a lot at stake, man. I mean, straight up, entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. It is a little bit of ignorance coming into it. You think one thing, and it's completely the other. But at the end of the day, as a man, you gotta step up and handle business for your family, for your team,
Yeah.
and everyone
Yeah,
else
yeah,
that's
dude.
counting,
A lot of mouths to
counting
feed
on you.
now, yeah.
So it makes the decision really clear. And I think for me, historically, with comparing it to my skateboarding career, I always performed the best under that kind of pressure. And especially when the stakes were really high from a physical, you get fucked up if you don't do this. So
literally the world comes crashing
if
onto
I'm
you.
going to skate, if I was going to jump down some 22 stair rail or some big hubba or something, it's like, dude, if you don't commit, you're going to the hospital. So you need to commit and get it done. But it makes things very simple. Commit and go. You know?
That we've talked, we kind of lightly touched on it when
Yeah.
you guys were on the show, and I kind of brought it up in the sense of that mentality, that wire, whether it's a wire well set in place or it's a fidgety wire that's
Yeah.
just kind of it's a little off. You have to be a little off your rocker to do something like an extreme sport or go into a highly competitive
Yeah.
landscape in the form of entrepreneurship. You know what I mean?
Well, it's kind of like anything. It's like if war, you know what I mean? It's like if you're out on the battlefield and you get hurt the most when you're hesitating, whether that's actually physical, mentally, or whatever. It's when you hesitate is when mistakes happen and you get injured. So it's like you can perceive business as, going to war. It's like you got to be dialed in. You got to make clean, clear decisions in the moment. And it all comes down to the preparation before you even get to the battle. So if you haven't prepared, then you're going to get slaughtered. But if you take the time and dial in your preparation and you put all the pieces in place, and you're going to come in and be victorious. It's not saying it's going to be easy. Like, it's still going to be tough
But with
as
the
shit.
understanding that every plan is going to fail once you actually set, like, it's going to go awry once it gets put into motion.
Yeah.
That's just like a law.
Yeah, but there's no it's you got to put in the work. End of story. Like, you have to. There's no shortcuts. There's no plug-in to skip the hard work
Not here.
part. You know what I mean? Not
here.
yet. Anyway,
Not here. The plugs don't work.
Yeah. But I think that's what people are missing. They see, they won't even have heard of Black Plague yet, maybe. And this is their first taste. And then they'll look like, oh, you guys are fairly young. I don't feel young, but you guys are fairly young. You have 3 locations, and it looks like you guys are, super successful. Like, how lucky are you? And it's like, bro.
If you only knew.
Like, you know what I mean? But that's the perception, right? And that is so far from the truth. And that was something, if you're not in it, you maybe can ignore and you don't fully understand. But now I go anywhere, and if I was to go to Ballast Point, or I was to go to AleSmith, or, I mean, it's not like this was luck and it happened overnight.
Yeah.
These dudes put the fucking work in and got it to where it is today. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for that, because I know firsthand, like, we're a drop in the ocean as far as, like, the size of our brewery in comparison to a lot of those brands.
Yeah.
But it's like there's no
And it can all be taken away.
shortcut, dude.
And like that understanding, it's a little bit more, like, I don't know, you can take a spiritual tone on it, but it's like, it can all be taken away. Like, you're at the mercy. 2 things. 1, all this work that you're putting in is work that you're putting into a potential.
It's
right?
potential,
Because you think, I'm going to put all this work into hoping it works.
Yeah.
So hope is not a strategy, but you definitely damn need it.
Yeah.
And then secondly, there's plenty of examples out there. Like, today while we're recording this, you see what Bud Light's going through, and then you see like Anchor. Like, it could all be taken away, dude.
Super fragile,
So you need to always stay cautiously optimistic. You need to stay hungry, thirsty, or whatever. And then you also really need to understand the fact that you're at the mercy of the market. And it doesn't matter how cool you are, who you are, you can fail.
Yeah.
And if you do, though.
And the probability is that statistically that you
Statistically.
will fail.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying. But you create your own expectations, which are completely based off feelings and not statistics or reality.
Well, the statistics are going to be on the 100 percentile kind of statistics if you don't do shit.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, you will 100%
Yeah,
fail.
that's true. 100%.
It's weird. Oh, dude, like 1,000%.
1,000%. That's the statistic, right? You will fail.
And you're doing that, and then even Rick, dude. Rick, you're doing your thing. You're freelancing. You're picking up projects. Like, that's a crazy, scary world too. But you feel like you're somewhat in control of a chaos that you can't control.
Nah, but I mean,
It's terrifying. You should be
everything-
terrified. If you're not terrified, you're not doing it right.
yeah. But you got to harness that terrifying feeling. It'll either consume you or you can use it to elevate and learn. Because at the end of the day, like, your business could fail, right? And I think people are so obsessed with the goal and not the journey. And it's like, dude, the amount of skills and knowledge and relationships and everything that we've learned over these we've been open for 6 years, but we really started 8 years ago. Like, I could have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars going to school and got a fraction of it, but being able to live it in real time when your life is on the line and you have personal guarantees up your ass, like, it forces you to absorb and learn and grow as a human being, and that's something no one can take away from you, and that's value. So whatever happens, even if Black Plague failed one day or whatever, it's like I can take all that knowledge
Right.
and acquired skill and relationships and time, and I can go apply it somewhere else.
Dude, there's this guy, Naval Ravikant, and I don't know if you listen to any of his stuff, but he's pretty famous because he had a tweet storm, and he has a bunch of like entrepreneurial life lessons. He's this VC investor, really successful guy. But one of the things that he says and he repeats is that he sets himself up so that in 1,000 lifetimes or 1,000 universes, he is successful like 999 of the time. You can never factor out luck, but you can factor in like grit, and you can factor in knowledge and application and all that stuff like that. And what he likes to believe, and I think this too, is like there comes a certain point that if you're paying attention and then you tap into it, you will be successful a lot more than you will be unsuccessful in any venture that you actually choose to embark on.
Yeah.
So like, even if your business fails and in the industry that you put everything into and you have to pivot and then do something else, you will apply just the mere application of the same principles will make you somewhat successful in that new venture. And that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and also like you're implementing consistency as well. And that's something I don't think people really realize too. It's like you have to create good habits consistently to grow and to be successful. So it's like same thing as entrepreneurship. It's like this business venture coincidentally has ingrained consistency of waking up at 5:15.
I know.
Going to the gym
Going
just
and
to
getting
get me fired up.
yoked, baby.
And then going straight into the office and getting there early before everybody else, making sure it's set up for the day and we're on a schedule. It's like and then it's just showing up, getting up and showing up at day in,
And
day
it's contagious.
out, day in, day out. And
That's
it's
the
contagious.
best thing.
But you also have to surround yourself with the same people that have the same vision and the same consistency. So I think I have been extremely fortunate teaming up with Jared just because he shows just as much consistency, just as much grit, just as much belief and hard work, and
you can tell.
And there's no shortcuts. And so you have to surround yourself with a good team as well.
And that's the thing, though. The thing about that contagious nature of discipline or consistency is that it makes people want to show up.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you wake me up before I wake up sometimes, and you're like, fucking, that little thread that we have going on with Tony Ferguson, and we're like, damn, dude, there's Jared again. I mean, Jordan just fucking like at the gym, and I love it. I feed off it. It makes me fucking go, fuck, all right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. And then once you get into that rhythm, then it becomes a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And it becomes something that you don't burn mental calories anymore thinking about if or why you should do it.
Well, it's just
you
like-
just do it.
100%. Well, then you just wake up. It's like 5:15 every morning. No, I don't even need my alarm. It's just, you're just up because your body's already adapted. And it's like, okay, up, let's go. So
I realized though, and I don't know if this happened to you, but like I've realized that just getting into that rhythm, and then just going and doing something physical or active, it gets me so much more creative throughout the day. Like I just find myself daydreaming a little bit differently even. Like I'm not just daydreaming about stupid shit anymore. I'm just daydreaming about things that might be applicable to, what I want to do or my job or this and that. In the creative space, it really helps. And you've always been pretty active. I mean, it's kind of been your fucking life.
Yeah. That's actually been one of the hardest things to adapt, was going the other way, because now, coincidentally, I'm on the phone a lot. I'm doing a bunch of spreadsheets. I'm doing a bunch of planning.
You don't have a treadmill desk?
I got spreadsheets, baby.
You don't have a treadmill desk?
I wake up in cold sweats. I was like, wait, is that on the spreadsheet?
Checks his iCal. His iCal first thing in
I
the
didn't
morning.
even know what an iCal was. It's just like, I put it on my iCal, buddy. I'm like,
And that's
what?
old school. He makes fun of me. He's like, dude, why don't you use Google? I was like, I don't know. I'm an iCal guy. Fuck. So I need to adapt and step my game up. So, dude, it's tough for me because, to your point, I've always been super physical. Skateboarding. I mean, I've been skateboarding when I was 6 years old. I got sponsored when I was 12.
That's pretty wild.
It was my whole life. So it's like you wake up, you're skating 8 hours a day, if not more, eating shit, getting clips. You're in 120-degree weather. You're halfway across the world somewhere. I mean, it's just, it's go, 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 go. And it's very, very physical. So for me to, it also takes a crazy toll on your body. Obviously, like my knees are fucked.
But
I broke my back.
Can I ask you something though?
You
I've always actually wanted to ask somebody in the extreme sports world, specifically skaters, because it applies to NFL, and it's very much a topic of conversation in those major league sports. But in any sport where you're subject to like just physical toll and breakdown, what does it do to your mind knowing that you have a very short window to become really good and to max it out, to like wring out that towel, because you know that it doesn't matter how good you are, with the exceptions of like Tony Hawk. Coincidentally, I just poured out some Tony Hawk beer, but like you see that guy still going, but he's been smart about it. No doubt though that there is a point that until you get to that launching pad, that you take complete physical brutality, and you don't know if you're ever going to get there. And that investment into it, I wonder what it does to you mentally.
It's a great question. The two words that came to my mind was you're blinded by passion and a bit of ignorance.
That's
a lot of ignorance. You're not looking at the stats of your potential if you're going to make it. You're just, this is what I love to do, and I'm going to find a way or make one. And we've adapted that mentality here as well. But that was it. I found a passion. So, and I realize hindsight how rare that is. But I found a passion when I was 6 years old.
Uncle Rick, baby.
Yeah. What?
Don't you have Uncle Rick? Didn't you have an Uncle Rick?
Oh yeah, I did have an Uncle Rick. How'd you remember that?
You think I don't fucking know you?
I was talking to this Rick. I'm like, Uncle Rick. This is some different. This is some side thing I don't know about.
This dude got a skateboard with a hockey puck on, like screwed into it.
It was drilled to the tail. We used hockey pucks to like stop. Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Canadian.
Yeah,
it's Canadian.
Yeah, shout out, Uncle Rick. Yeah. So he gave me my first skateboard, and that was it. I was like, fuck, this is cool as shit. And I never thought of anything else after that. It was like, I'm dialed in. So that's rare. Very rare,
But is it? In the sense that, like, anybody that reaches the amount of, I don't know, like, anybody that reaches your level, because let's not be bashful about it. You're a professional skater. Like, you're a pro skater. People know Jordan Hoffart. They're like, dude, Jordan Hoffart. Fuck, I love it. All my skater dudes that I say, oh yeah, this is just Jordan. Hold on, I'm gonna take this call. Like, Jordan Hoffart? What the hell? Like, you're like a pro skater. You don't get to that point though.
Yeah.
Without being surrounded by these lucky few that think like you. I watch Hall of Meat, dude. I on Instagram, I follow Hall of Meat, and I'm just like, how the hell do they even get up and do this again?
That's passion speaking. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's passion. You're not even thinking, like, it sucks, but you're so obsessed with like tackling that trick and you almost become addicted to that high, because it's adrenaline. You're addicted to adrenaline, let's face it, but it's like high risk, high reward. You know what I mean?
But what is the reward?
The reward is landing the trick and rolling away. Exactly. That moment is like complete, like you might as well be a drug addict. Like, that is complete ecstasy, rolling away from something that has beat you up. It's almost like, you were bullied in high school for years, and then you finally stepped up to the bully and knock him out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We all have that, right? We all have that. I'm sure Rick has that. Abel has it. We all have our story.
Yeah.
It's so funny, man.
He came back and knocked you out.
What's up?
I'm just kidding.
I used to bully him in the future. I mean, in the past, I guess. Like, I was, Jesus, dude, I was 3 and I was bullying him, and then he came back one day, dude. Like last week, he came back.
He finally did it.
Bam,
Was
dude.
that moment not sweet?
He just gave me a liver shot, dude.
Yeah.
No, but what I was gonna say is, like, it was so funny because, trying to correlate it with the real world, and it's weird. You have to kind of do some like mental or psychological gymnastics to equate tackling a fucking 13 stair grind to real world, put your family and your life savings on the line, but they do correlate.
Oh, yeah.
And I was funny. It was funny because I was talking to my brother-in-law. And I'm like, dude, yeah, I'm going to have Jordan on the show and blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, God, he's a professional skater. And sometimes we sit down, I sit down with my kids and we just watch different skate videos and we put you on. And he was curious about you. And they're like, dude, you want to know who this guy is? Check this out. And we put on face melters when you guys were doing that gap. I don't know if it was in the hood, but
San Dimas.
yeah. Chris Cole and some other dude were like kind of like the hosts.
Yeah,
and
Tori
you, Paul Hart, some other cats.
Yeah.
You guys were getting hauled in onto this gap, and dude, you got torn apart. It was hard to watch.
That was the day I broke my back. I broke my back when that.
Oh yeah, that's right. You literally broke your back, right?
Yeah. It was
Wait.
a fracture of the L5 vertebrae. I had 2 herniated discs. So L4 herniated discs on both sides. Yeah. Yeah, because it wasn't just the back. It was like I had we posted the photos and we had an outpour of messages like, "Hey, you should go to the hospital because your arm looks like there's no blood flow and you could lose your arm," kind of thing. So it was like there was layers of damage, but you don't feel it in that time. You're just on adrenaline. It's just such a rush.
But
dude.
what I was thinking when I was watching, I was like, dude, this is the entrepreneur in Jordan. He can land this trick, but he's gonna fall time and time again so that the camera keeps going because he was wearing black plague gear. And so it's like, So I was like, oh,
I was doing it for the plague,
this
baby.
is a stunt
Yeah.
to get black plague continuously on the shot. And I was like, wow, this guy is playing
2 times.
This guy's playing chess.
Chestnut checkers, my man.
And I was like, everyone else here is landing all these tricks all easy. And here's Jordan just getting black plague.
You got to make a story. You got to make a story.
I can't believe you
I was
broke your
eating
back.
shit on purpose.
I can't believe you broke your back. I can't believe you broke your back.
It's like, no, everyone's like, there wouldn't be a Rocky 2, 3, 4, 5 if he just knocked them out in the first round. Come on, dude. You got to come back. It's a comeback story.
Have you ever seen that video? Dude, isn't it wild to watch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't even pick an easy trick.
No.
I think like the first time, like even Chris Cole or something, he was like, oh, that's interesting. That's very hard.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Well, it was a laser.
There's a laser flip.
So-
I don't even know what that is, and it sounds hard. Laser anything sounds fucking insane.
Yeah. Pew, pew, pew. I don't know. It's one of those tricks you just like. I had laser flips. The thing is like I hadn't skated for months prior to that day.
I know you just kind of showed up.
Because we were building out. We were just balls deep in the brewery. You know what I mean? So it's like I had to go find my skateboard, which was embarrassing to say, but it was like
Behind all those
stuffed
golf
away-
clubs.
Yeah, it was stuffed away behind the golf clubs. So I was like, I got it, and I was like, I threw it down that day and like threw a couple of laser flips out. I was like, fuck, we'll figure it out. And then so the thing is, I probably could have done it a lot sooner, but that wouldn't have been a story.
Wait, Jordan, can you land it out? No, dude, I haven't broken my back yet.
Yeah,
Hold on.
let me break
Hold
my
on,
back real quick.
hey, dude,
I'll do it.
Hey, dude, don't break your back doing it. No, I'm literally gonna break my back. doing
Trust me,
this.
guys, the back needs to be broken.
I will say this though.
It was redemption for me because I had tried that trick 7 years prior, and I never landed
I didn't
it.
know that.
And I rolled my ankle that day, and I just never went back to get it. And so they called me because the whole premise with face melters was it was going to an iconic, gnarly spot and doing tricks that haven't been done there before. So that's the whole premise of that.
I didn't know that either.
That was the premise
So
of that.
everybody
whole
that
deal.
was doing a trick was a trick that they've never done on that.
That has never been done on that spot. Yeah. So that was it. So that was the premise, and I'm sure his name's Eric Bragg, who was like the producer of the show, and he was contacting everybody. I'm sure he did his homework and saw who had skated San Dimas Gap before, and I'd done some other tricks over it, and so he called me up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
That
like,
makes
hey,
it so much cooler.
do you want to skate this? And blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, yeah, I'd be cool to get redemption of that trick,
The thing that was kind of crazy about that, dude, if you haven't gone and found that video, crack open a beer, sit down. and brace yourself. It was hard to watch.
You know what was the sketchiest
hard
part?
to watch.
And that's why I switched over to getting towed in by the motorcycle, was that originally I was getting towed in by Eric Bragg in his Chevelle.
That was a dope car.
And I'm goofy, and you had to peel out to the right. So I got my heels set to his rear wheel of his Chevelle, and I'm holding on to the rear window, and I feel my heels, like, hitting the fucking tire. And I was like, dude, this car could roll, like, just buckle my leg right now. And
Do you think that that's why you didn't land it earlier?
Probably. It had some aspect of it, for sure. Like, because it's terrifying. You're, like, constantly like, okay, don't break your leg on the roll up. And then, oh, shit, I'm going 23 miles an hour over this fucking
That is something that I never even considered either.
Yeah. And you're holding on, so you're trying to set up and not wiggle out, and there's a lot going on.
But when you're doing it on the motorcycle, it's different.
Yeah, because I got to hold on to the back.
There's
So-
nothing on the side of you. It's
Yeah.
all in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, the towing is different. That
Towing's
chick was
different.
late for a flight too, right? I think
Yeah,
I
she
heard
missed her flight. Leticia Buffoni,
that. She from like a show?
Brazil.
Is she from a show or something like that?
She's a pro skater.
She's a pro skater.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She rides for Nike, and she started her own board brand, Monarch, I think, and she's a Red Bull athlete. Yeah. Yeah, it was really great that she offered to do it, but her bike overheated too, and she was like burning her legs, like towing me in.
Well, now that I know that she's a pro skater, though, it makes a little bit more sense, right?
Yeah.
Like she had that same rewiring in
Yeah.
her brain. It's like we got to do it, and
Yeah.
we got to do it for whatever it is,
Yeah.
for whatever that passion is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you broke your back, and you didn't even land the trick that you broke when you broke your back. So you landed it with a broken back.
Correct.
That is, what would you consider more insane than that? That's probably like there's some David Goggins shit, like where he went through, SEALs training, or he went through buds with like a fractured leg. That's probably up there.
But didn't he like break his foot and ran 100 miles on a broken foot still?
It's that kind of insanity, though.
Yeah. You
That
get to
you
a
have.
place. I don't know if it's insanity.
100%. hey, 1,000%.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Well, you don't think? Hold on, this is serious. I want to touch on this.
I think you start to fall in love with pain a little bit. There you go.
Rick,
Does that
Abel, do you guys love something painful that much that you would?
Tattoos? Yeah. But why are you enduring that pain? Because the outcome is awesome, right? It's sick. You love it.
But may I? The tattoo agreement is statistically pretty good on that. You want a tattoo, and so you're going to endure pain for that tattoo. His pain is, I want to land a trick, and I'm not sure if I'm going to land the trick. So there's this roll of the die that happens in that world that doesn't necessarily happen with, like, let's say, going to a tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
And that's where the insanity starts to kick in my opinion, because I don't think that there's anything that I would be able to do, and obviously I don't know, that I would be able to ignore the excruciating pain, adrenaline dampened or not, of a broken back
Well,
to do this thing.
okay. And I mean, maybe this
Besides, like, save my kids or something.
Well, maybe this. Well, that's a great point. But maybe this is like not a great example. But MMA fighters, like, let's talk about our boy Tony.
Oh, that's true.
He stood with Gagey, and he took fucking arguably just headshots after headshots, and he did not quit. Did not quit to where they stepped in because it was like, hey, this guy's not going to quit. But it's like, what's motivating Tony?
And when we talked, when we were hanging out with Tony, I told Tony, "You're insane."
Yeah, you're insane. But he doesn't.
You're like,
he doesn't see it that way.
I don't think.
And he's probably fighting for his family.
I
To your
don't-
point.
yeah.
And there's no guarantee the outcome he's going to win. So it's like it kind of
high risk, high reward.
high risk,
That's
high reward.
that's what you live in.
And you're
That's
so
the world that you
in
live
it at that moment. He probably didn't even feel half those punches at that point.
Dude, Dan Hooker
Hooker.
just fought, broke his arm or like whatever, and then has his
yeah.
cheekbone completely broken, wins the fight, and then goes and tells Joe Rogan, it's just a scratch. And I'm just like, you're insane. You are a person that I would consider
Or how many
insane.
MMA fighters hide an injury going into a big fight? Like Dillashaw, his shoulder was separated in training camp like 4 times before that last fight. I mean, it came out
I guess
during
you
the
see
fight.
it. I guess you're right.
You know what I mean?
You know, Rick, we
is
see the music
insanity,
too,
though?
right?
Yeah, maybe. It might be insanity.
I mean, it's similar to me today, like when I got off the couch and I hurt my toe and I came into this podcast.
And I was gonna bring you up. I was gonna bring you up.
I really brought it for you guys today.
Dude,
so.
I didn't want to I didn't want to tell that
Same
story
exact
because
thing,
I didn't
right?
want to
Same
take it
exact
to
thing.
another level, another extreme.
You know.
But yeah, Rick stubbed his toe.
Yeah. I just say when your employees leave the AC
He
on
stu-
at their
It was a
house
squeegee toy.
and they get the sniffles.
He, a
Yeah.
rubber chicken. Rick bumped his foot into a rubber chicken and it just completely.
Yeah.
He hit the Roomba. He accidentally hit the Roomba, and the Roomba just really took out his small toe. No, I'm not saying insane as like a
In a bad way.
Yeah, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
right,
I'm
right.
saying like I'm envious of it. That passion and that persistence and that borderline insanity to me
Yeah.
is something to behold. And like when you watch that Face Melters video, and quite honestly, I'm just using this as a reference. I'm sure you've done things in your career skating that have been even harder than that. And maybe not, but like I know skaters and any sort of extreme sports, professional, they have to get to a particular like mental space where they're ignoring caution. And I would say that ignoring caution is pretty wild and crazy.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. But I think in today's society, we've made it unnormal to do that. But think historically, when we weren't so comfortable.
Good point.
And it was survival of the fittest, and you had to fight, like literally fight and go to war and for your survival.
good point.
I think it was a little bit more normal to live in that state. And honestly, like now being able to have a little taste, even if it's watered down, modern, like self-inflicted, where having a little bit of that taste, it's like I feel more alive in those moments than any other moment in my life. And that's why I welcome it, because it's like you kind of realize like how precious this all is. You know what I mean?
What you were able to do and what we all kind of do, like whether like Rick, we all have kids, right? Like, so like even in that feeling of like, what did I just do signing up to be a parent? Because that probably is one of the most daunting things. And that mentality either is the first time you ever feel it. It's always the first time you ever feel it, right? If it's your first kid. But like what I'm saying is that unfamiliarity with fear is something that we need to kind of like purge out of our society. People need to be familiar with fear, right? And like now that you have kids, we all have kids. We want to expose them to danger and fear and adversity, not because we want them to suffer, but because we know that they can overcome it. Right.
And they become stronger.
Exactly. And so when you look at, or when a surfer looks at a big wave, like when Laird Hamilton gets towed into whatever the hell he got towed into, or when you're looking at that Staples ledge and you're going like, dude, I did not think that it was going to be this big. Am I biting off too much that I can chew? And then you do it. Those are
defining moments.
Well, they're defining moments, but they're literally biologically rewiring your like network. Like they're like
what's
they're,
possible.
They're changing the way you look at the world, right? Rodney Mullen has a really good way of explaining the world through skating, in the sense that he developed this thing where he just looks at the world as a canvas. And I think that after you figure out that you can paint on something, everything becomes a canvas, right? Like, you know what I mean? Jared knows, like, as an artist, like, he's super creative. Like, I'm sure that once he realizes that he or anybody can take something and make it not that, everything becomes malleable.
Yeah.
And that's a very different world that a lot of people live in.
Yeah, I mean, the only limits there are is the limits we put on ourselves and others, or we allow others to put on us, really. It's all manufactured.
Oh, shit. Hear that, Rick? I think we got there. We went there.
Boom. Is that the Nija talking? Should we talk about the...
Dude, I just cracked open this Nija, and I don't like hazies. I've been very vocal about this. I've been very... it used to be the hill I was going to die on, but I'm actually kind of coming around to the good hazies.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Honestly, this is the first time I've drinking a hazy in a few months. I've been off the hazy train and on the crispy boys.
I love crispy boys.
Boil over.
I don't know about you guys, but I love crispy boys.
I love crispy boys.
Cracking a cold one open with the boys.
How long are they? How
I'm
long
from-
are they lagered?
Dude, I like a fully matured,
At least 5 weeks.
ready to go,
7.
crispy boy that's been lagered, and yeah. You know what? The more mature and the older, the better.
Yeah. I'm into it. So anyway, back to this hazy.
I'm glad we had that talk.
Yeah, brewed with real sweat particles from Nija. Every session, he
Hey,
sends
hey,
down
hey,
the towel.
no joke.
Every win from Street League, he brings the wet towel and sends it to us. We
There's a little bit of the U.S.
throw it in the
There's
boil.
A little bit of USA in there too.
the gold winning formula right there.
Dude, sometimes you see these skaters, dude, like Scheckler had it for a while, Nija. They're just like on another level.
I gotta bounce.
Are you
What time
out?
is it?
Jared, you're out?
I'll be back in the next hour for still here.
God damn, there he goes.
Oh shit! 20 minutes.
20 minutes we got. Okay. Hey, we got 20 minutes to capitalize on Mr. Jordan Hoffart here.
Jeff wants to go through every single one of those beers on the table.
Oh, we're
I don't know
almost
if you
done. We
did
got
that.
hazy
We only
scam.
got one. We only got one more.
We got,
got one left?
well, did we do Tony? We didn't. Tony vanished.
Oh no. I did Tony and then they took Tony.
Did we talk about Tony?
No, we didn't talk about Tony,
talk
but
about Tony?
let's talk about Tony.
Okay. Well, are we done? Nigel, sorry, bud.
No, we're not. No, we're not done talking about that shit. We got 10 minutes and 10 minutes. How about
All right.
that?
All right.
Okay, we got Tony, but there's nothing here.
Okay, we'll get another.
But
one.
listen.
It's fine. It'll buff out. We're good.
So Nija Houston,
Yes.
and he is.
The most
I'm gonna
decorated
I'm gonna ask. Yeah, that's what I kind of
skate.
Sure.
Yeah, the most from a competition standpoint. I think he's the most decorated pro skater in history.
He's been considered the best, the GOAT.
Yeah. I
Right?
mean, yeah. It's hard to. I mean, it's all interpretation, and but he has done his last video part when he was running for Skater of the Year. And I'm gonna say this not because I'm biased, but I think he should have won. I think
he lost to
got,
who?
He got fucking ripped off.
Oh.
Tyshawn Jones, who this was the second time he's won, and I'm not taking anything away from Tyshawn. I don't, he's amazing, but the shit that Nija did in that video part, all well winning street leagues and doing everything you need to do as a
get
competition skater, and coming out with content and do. I mean,
He did it all.
he did it all, and he did it. He made it look easy, and this was shit that has. Every single one of those tricks in that video part would have been one of my enders in my part.
Can I ask you something?
I couldn't even do them.
If you were you're analyzing it, obviously, so we'll go with it. Why? Why did he get short sticked?
There's a few things.
Just say it, Jordan Hoffart.
You're gonna have to ask him. I think, honestly, I think it was one of those Scheckler kind of scenarios where it was like.
Got it all. Let's give it to the guy that doesn't have it all.
Yeah, got it. I mean, I wouldn't even say Tyshawn doesn't have it all at this point. I just competition skater, monster skater, child prodigy, living that high life.
Is it the high
persona.
life? Is
It's
it the high life persona that kind of like dilutes
probably.
it a little bit?
Yeah, definitely.
When you leave
In my
it,
opinion, I don't know.
well, no, dude. Anything that you leave up
I mean,
to
there was
judges' interpretation.
fucking no doubt in my mind that he won. Let's put it that way. Like I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Finally, good for this dude. He's got it."
I saw that
in the
piece.
bag. I thought he had it in the bag.
I saw that and I was blown away, and I know jack shit about like what levels it takes. Like I'm an armchair skateboarder, right? Like,
Yeah.
So I saw that and I was like, what the fuck? So I can't imagine like the people that know the technical and that have done it. If you're saying that
In the
almost
bag.
every one
In
of
the
those tricks was like an ender for most pros,
Yeah.
on their part. I also saw the other guy. I forgot his name, but I also saw the other guy, and I thought it was cool too. But I don't know. I'm not that.
There's this unspoken like East Coast New York gritty like street like the spots he's skating. There's this absurd pop that he has to go over, like switch ollie over a picnic table. Like there's a streets core element to it that Thrasher really vibes with. I think everyone vibes with. So I don't want to take that away from Tyshawn. Like,
No, his part was sick as far as I remember.
his part was sick. Going to the subway station and doing a backside flip over the,
I saw that.
Then there's the element of getting kicked out. There's the element of, the weather, how rough the spots are, going up a spot instead of down a spot. Like there's definitely elements. And I like I said, Tyshawn's fucking phenomenal, like a phenom in himself. Like, he's insane. But I just thought from what I saw and the fact that Tyshawn had already won, and I don't think there's anything else. The year that Nyjah had too, and to finish it with, he put out 3 video parts within weeks of each other, and that was just the last one. There's nothing else he could have done to win. It came down to
Preference.
He's not winning.
And I don't know. You tell me if this works to his disadvantage. Nyjah, it's weird because he makes everything look so goddamn easy.
Yeah.
Dude, he's so smooth. And he makes everything, even the gnarliest thing, he makes it look so smooth and easy that when I'm watching it sometimes, I'm unimpressed.
Yeah.
Until I start thinking about what he did. But I'm watching, like, that was pretty easy. It looked real easy. He has like this finesse. And so when I see somebody else do the same thing, but like you can see a little bit of like struggle, you go like, oh man, that guy dug deep. And it kind of gives him an advantage.
100%.
Is that a thing?
Totally.
Is that, you think that is what happens with?
There's aspects. I don't think that's all encompassing what happened, but there's definitely aspects of that play into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because I thought maybe that was a deciding
But
factor.
there's another GOAT. Paul Rodriguez.
P-Rod.
P-Rod, dude. Again, he elites of the elites, and we're pretty similar in age. Awesome dude. But that was the critique that I saw as well, is that he made it look too easy. But you almost discredit it, but it's like, dude, that in itself, that's a skill to
That's
make
the level
something.
up.
That's how high of a level they're at, that they make the hardest tricks look easy. And
Steph Curry does it, and it's like he's the GOAT.
100%.
A skater does it, it's like, that wasn't even cool.
They just write it off as it just happened.
Why?
But so people want to be able to resonate with the struggle. That's my whole thing with the laser flip over the gap. People saw me struggle for hours, and it was like a Rocky Balboa fucking moment that people could relate to, because it was like all odds are against you. You're barely hanging on. You're beat up, and the grace of God, you fucking pull it off.
Dude,
and that's the story, right?
Everybody listening or watching, when you get, spoiler alert, the reception that you receive after landing that laser flip was so, dude, I got like excited.
Yeah.
Dude.
People like a
sent you
story.
the video. I sent you the video. I don't know if you remember when you landed it, my kid was jumping up and down going, like that. Like it was exciting.
Yeah.
Everybody was like in on it. And everybody was so, like they were going through the struggle with you in a weird way. That's the problem when you're that good. Nobody goes along with the struggle because, and he's going to do it. And he did it.
And
wow, that looked pretty easy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you just write it off. But it's absolutely, so yeah, to that point, it's like, do they need to make it look like they're struggling a little bit more? Maybe. But that's,
come on, Nyjah.
what a crazy,
fall once in a while, fool.
What a crazy concept, right? What a crazy concept. Yeah.
Dude, Nyjah did not break his back. That dude did a heel flip over a chick.
Oh, dude, Nyjah gets, that's another story, but Nyjah gets fucked up, dude. He gets fucked up.
Bro.
He gets smoked.
Dude, I've seen his bails. I've seen his bails, dude.
Yeah,
and
he
he just knows how to fall.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fall. Rick, I rolled my ankle off a U-Haul. When I moved to Calexico, dude, I was like I was going, and I literally rolled my ankle, fell off the U-Haul. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something right now. I channeled that inner Jordan. I got up.
He got up.
And I finished.
He took the couch out.
I took the couch out. And you know what?
And he put it in the living room. And his wife went crazy.
And nobody was there. Nope. Dude, nobody was there. There wasn't like Face Melter's episode made about it, but I'm just telling you.
You know what, though? If you would have filmed it and put it on live air, I bet you a lot of people would relate to that. Yeah. And you would have been a fucking, superhero.
But you know what? I still would have been beat out by what's the other dude? The guy that beat Nyjah? I would have been out.
Tyshawn.
Tyshawn. He could have fallen the same way off that U-Haul, still beat me.
He would be you.
No, so anyways, long-winded way of getting back to Nigel's beer.
Yeah.
Did he have anything to do with this?
Great
Recipe
beer.
development?
No, he came and brewed the initial batch with us.
Oh, yeah?
So what Eric likes to do, which is, and I encourage it, is like, obviously Eric, head brewer, but Paul Segura has anointed him brewmaster at this point. So let's face it.
He should be.
He has the accolades.
Your beer's that good.
Yeah, he has the accolades. He knows what he's fucking doing. He's a ledge. What Eric likes to do is obviously have a preconceived knowledge of options that will work. Because you don't want someone that's coming into the brewing industry blindly and doesn't know it, like picking a bunch of random shit. It's not going to work.
Why don't we throw a little bit of steak seasoning in there?
It's not going to turn out well. So we leave it to Eric to kind of guide the ship and be like, hey, here are the hops. Smell these arrangements. I think this would work well. This could work well. This could work well. And they basically fill in the blanks. Like, oh, yeah, I really like this one. Okay, cool. Well, let's... So it's a collaborative effort in that sense. But
we all know that you're dealing with somebody that's not very experienced or doesn't really know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's good. That's good to have an experienced guy teaching.
100%. But it's like, if you're going to do a collab, like, I think that should be one of the prerequisites. I think any band or whoever puts a name on them, they should be there so they understand the process and they have their input as far as,
How did you get Nigel? Is he a good buddy of yours, or you just knew him through channels, or what?
Yeah, exactly. So, he's actually one of our investors. So,
Go him.
Yeah. So he believed in Black Plague from day one.
Was he your boy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
should say our boy, because there's other investors that are all from the skate industry.
Okay, cool.
So it was like a all-encompassing group that basically invested into the brewery.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's been fantastic.
Did he want a hazy, or you guys were you brought him in on the hazy?
We brought him in on the hazy. I think it spawned from Hazy Scandal because we did like an initiation night. This like kind of a poke at
Initiation night.
We did a
sounds
secret society party.
Eyes wide shut stuff, dude. I'm telling you, Rick. I told
We
you.
turned off all the lights.
I've seen the mask. I've seen the mask.
You see the video though. We have a whole party video of when we released Hazy Scandal, and he came with his crew, and there were teams, and it was for a championship belt. And
BMF.
you didn't seen it?
No.
Oh, dude, the video is awesome.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
We gotta put
Rick-
a link. Hey, Rick, we'll put a link on it.
Yeah,
link.
Photoshop or whatever the fuck.
I'll edit
Play
it
the
in.
goddamn video behind us somehow. But place it slightly off the screen so it doesn't look perfect. So it's like our first episode, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be great. No, so I think that has some influence because that party was so rad that it was like, okay, we're going to do a hazy.
Oh, that's super sick.
Yeah. So, I could
Did
also-
and this is like while you go, because we need to talk about the Tony Hops, and I know we only have like 60 seconds.
You're all right. We're going over.
We got to go,
Boil over.
dude.
It's the boil over.
And it's our first episode.
Overtime,
right?
baby.
Come on,
It's Friday. It's Friday, baby. I just got a Harlan collab back at the house. No big deal.
dude. Look at this dude flexing.
I'm talking extra loud.
Dude, we've unlocked Jordan Hoffart, and I love it.
We're talking loud.
I love it. Okay, so when this armada or whatever of skaters came in to invest in Black Plague,
Yeah.
was it because, I mean, you're a personable guy, you're awesome, you got the vision, you got the what I would call the rigidity of an entrepreneur, like, which means like I give you a task and I'm pretty sure that you're just going to do what you say that you're going to do. You got that integrity. Was it because of that, or did people think, or did all these skaters really go like, dude, beer's the next thing. I got to get on this beer thing.
Fuck, that's a great question, dude. So I was homebrewing in my garage, and selfishly, it was more of a thing like, hey, long term, Stephanie, my wife, was pregnant with our second kid, Bronson, and I already seen my career kind of peak, and I didn't necessarily want to be one of the pros that held on, because let's face it, there's only one Tony Hawk, there's only one Nija, so I needed to start being a little bit more realistic with where I was at in my skate career,
yeah,
if that
yeah.
makes sense.
No,
Because
no,
there is,
dude,
I mean,
totally.
there's a time. Let's Let's face it. And skating is a young man's sport.
So you self-analyzed yourself and said, I'm not going to be at the level that's going to be able to kind of like ride the crest of my past apex career.
Exactly. I did a data analysis on my career, and
Well, you did
I determined that the odds were likely against me moving forward, so I needed to figure something else out. And I was like, well, what do I really like to do? What am I passionate about? And Jared and I were doing bottle shares with my neighbor with craft beer.
Cool.
And so I started making beer in my garage, and we were starting to drink those beers. And they weren't very good, but I had no temperature control, and I have every excuse in the moon. But at the end of the day, it was something that I thoroughly enjoyed to do.
By the way, real quick, they were good, and you're like, they were good. I had no temperature control. But like, how good were they, Jordan?
I didn't say that. I said they weren't good.
Oh, I thought you said they.
No,
I thought you said, oh, they were good.
No.
I had no temperature control.
They were terrible. They were terrible, but it was awesome. It was fun. And it was in my garage.
Dude, that's awesome, though.
And garage is more like a carport. So let's put it that way.
That's
You
true.
know what I mean?
That's true.
So it was something that was fun and something that didn't rely on my body, like knees, to you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And
fuck.
I'll admittingly, this was during the time that St. Archer was doing their thing prior to them selling. So I had seen the success of other pro skateboarders and pro athletes.
Yeah, pre-rod.
getting in-
I mean, pre-rod. P-rod was
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of that, right?
They're all part of it, and they made it look attainable. And I had already was friends with Chris Anacleto at Booze Bros, who had since parted, but like Dave and Donnie at Booze Bros.
Yeah. No.
And they pulled off Booze Bros on a seemingly impossible budget at the time, and they were kind of like your testament, like grit, success story.
Right.
Make
A little case study.
Yeah. And so, and they're heavily involved in the skate industry as well. And I
didn't know that.
I was filming. Yeah, well, Chris was a skate filmer.
Cool.
And so, they kind of gave me the confidence that we could pull some cash together and do something. And so it was like a whole all-encompassing scenario of seeing all of that and giving us the boost we needed. Like, hey, this is something that we could maybe do. We could pull this off. You know?
Had
what I
you
mean?
researched at this point when you're going like, hey, they did it. Did you know that, like, had you taken a peek under the hood?
Not so much.
So it was just more of like, wow, the car looks really cool. But you
Yeah.
hadn't really like
Drove it
gone
off,
into
yeah.
the like,
I didn't
yo,
even go for a test
what
drive
this
yet,
is
yeah.
going to entail.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of blind ignorance also involved.
Very necessary.
I would agree. Even at this point, I'd say you need a little bit of ignorance to. You either need a shit ton of money, or you need a whole lot of ignorance.
Money can definitely offset some ignorance, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so like you get there, you go like, hey man, you're a little bit inspired. You're doing some home brewing, so you like making beer, you like craft beer. You see that people in your network, in the pro skating circuit, are getting involved in this. So
Which
then,
was really cool. It was honestly heartbreaking when hindsight, you know, it was kind of a built to sell scenario,
Yeah.
which they'll admit. I mean, that's like public knowledge. But when they were in it, it was like, fuck, that's cool. All my bros, all the dudes that I looked up to in the skating, getting into this industry. If you look at the parallels between craft beer and core skating, pretty similar. It's an art form. You know, you can make an IPA, you can make a hazy IPA, but it's all the interpretation and your little flair. And it's like same with a kickflip. A lot of people can do a kickflip. They can be fucking ugly. They can have so much finesse, and you could fall in love with it. It's just they did it so well.
Right.
You know what I mean? So in that aspect,
Rick does a fucking solid
great,
kickflip.
solid kickflip.
Awesome kickflip.
Awesome.
Dude, all right, you just did it right before. we
Yeah,
came in.
yeah. Well, yeah. In the bathroom, I did it right.
Yeah,
on-
yeah.
It was so sick, dude.
Yeah,
It's the bowl he skates.
yeah, yeah. Fuck
It's
yeah.
so sick, dude.
Hell yeah, brother.
No, and so you do it, and then you go, hey, you know what'd be rad? Let's get some of the the fucking two best skaters on the fucking planet
Well,
to fucking invest or what?
Yeah, like I already know them. That was my network. So it was like, yeah, I dedicated my life to that. So it's like,
the reality is you need a lot of money to start a brewery.
What was the pitch like to? By the way, you just brought over Tony Hops,
Yeah.
Tony Hawk. Quite. I mean, like I just called Nyjah the GOAT, but I just think it's always
Tony's the GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you consider the greatest of all time.
Well, there's
and what
eras,
that entails, right?
But I think you can't argue at this point that Tony's the only skateboarder in history that's been able to transcend generation after generation after generation
Right.
to this day and still be the GOAT. Still be like just as relevant as he's ever been.
I'm sorry, Nyjah.
Think about
I
this.
love you, dude, but I think I'm gonna have to retract what I said. Tony Hawk is the GOAT.
Think about this. Tony pulled the 900 in 1999. And that trick's still relevant. Like the 900. It was 25 fucking years ago, dude. Like,
Do you remember where you were when you saw the 900, Rick?
I graduated high school back then. Yeah.
that's insane.
Abel, do you remember the 900, dude?
And
I
Tony's
remember the 900.
Yeah.
Tony's still doing 540s 25 years later off of a fucking broken femur. That
Dude, I know.
surgery, like he botched it because he started skating too early. Then he had to re-get surgery, and now he's back. And I mean, the dude's what, mid-50s, late 50s? After 2 gnarly surgeries on a broken femur? Like, come on, dude.
The
Like,
guy,
you want to talk about
and he's
psycho?
personable,
Huh?
and he's personable, and he's one of the best faces of the industry that you can ever have.
Fucking, dude, I would be a narcissistic psychopath if I was Tony Hawk. Like,
Oh, you mean you would
straight
just be a
up.
narcissist?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
a psychopath for sure.
Yeah. But for sure, how could you not be? I mean, like they're launching him and I think his name's Andrew. He's like a Michelin star chef or something. They're doing Chicken Hawk in Encinitas. They're launching their own.
Oh.
And it's been tied
Yeah,
up.
I saw
The
that.
permits have been tied up forever, and I'm hoping
42 times.
at least.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
at the
dealing
very
with the
least.
city of Encinitas, which
Apparently,
sounds like a
yeah.
nightmare, honestly.
I think it's a Tony thing. It's not even.
But the fact that
Like,
Tony
why,
Hawk.
why is it taking longer than what, 18 days? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Each of the departments
What's the
have.
problem, dude?
You know what it is? It's because each of the departments have 100 boards for him to sign. Like, hey, could you sign this for my nephew? Could you sign this? Well, yeah, we'll push those permits through. Just sign this. Just sign this. Anyway, like they came and did a pop-up shop at Black Plague, and it's like, yeah, it's fucking chaos when he's around. Like, it's fucking madness.
Dude, Black Plague, your main brewery, has Tony Hawk nights. I don't know if you guys are still doing it, but like when you guys are playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh, that was the best.
And Tony comes in to play.
Tony Hawk as himself.
I'm like, what?
Hey, here's one thing nobody
I
knows.
thought he was going to choose like at least a steamer.
Yeah. Tony picked Tony. He's got Activision on speakerphone beside him because he's like, oh yeah, how do you do that again? Like,
No.
yeah, no,
that did
no,
not
no,
happen.
that's real. That's life. That's real life.
Hey, hi,
So
I'm
he's
Carol,
like-
Tony. It's going to be left,
Yeah.
upper, up, down, and then A.
He can
that
fact-
will be the 900.
Hopefully, we get to a point where we can call him and he can come on the show and
Dude.
tell you. Maybe I'm lying, but regardless, regardless, come on the show.
That's the new theme of the
fact
boil
check
over,
me.
people.
Fact
Maybe
check
I'm
me.
lying.
Fact check me on that one. Jason Ellis can come too. Fuck it.
Wolf versus Hawk, shout out. They don't even pay for this, but like whatever.
I got a story about that guy too.
Oh, please.
Well, that's another. We'll do another episode.
Rick is like, I gotta go.
No. We're all in it.
Okay, wait. Okay, so we circumvented or we went off the
went.
beaten path.
That's what
but,
we do, baby.
So Tony Hops is a beer that Tony Hawk himself came again throwing the hops.
Shout out Ballast Point.
BP action right there. Boy, we got to do BP squared. That's for another episode.
Yeah, BP,
So,
BP, baby.
Ooh, did you just come up with that?
No, you just said it.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that you're rolling with it. So Tony Hawk, quite non-arguably the GOAT because of other things
You can't
other
argue-
than skating.
If you argue it, you're just an idiot.
Please tell us. Please tell everybody listening or watching. What does that pitch look like? When you went up to Tony and said, hey, this is what I got in mind,
Yeah.
what did that sound like and what did it feel like?
Yeah,
What
well,
was it?
I want to introduce Jared Lucas, who's also an investor. He's the team
How,
manager.
oh, wait, who?
Jared Lucas.
He's a team member for
No, he's the team manager for Bones Wheels.
Boats. There you go.
Yeah, so early on, he had helped him and his brothers. They have a background in construction as well, so they helped with the build out of the brewery.
But they've
as
been,
well.
but Lucas has helped you
Well, he
a
was
lot in your career,
Well,
right?
he was, I mean, we lived together in Cardiff. Like, he was my team manager. Actually, we were friends before he became the team manager. We were like, yeah, Jared should be the team manager of Bones. And then he's been that guy. Like, so when I first started coming down to California from Canada, like, I'd stay with him in Venice at the time. So our history runs super deep.
Cool.
Super deep.
So he's the conduit or what?
Yeah, so I mean, he was the team manager. Tony rode for Bones. And then Jared was involved. He did a bunch of video work for Monster, and that was his connect with Nija.
Oh,
and
okay,
so that, as far as getting people to the table and getting the meeting, he circumvented a lot of that. Jared Doss, however, we put a business plan together and basically trained me on the business plan. And then I went and pitched not just Tony, but his legal team and his management team. And then same thing for Nija. Like, I'd bring samples of our beer
But Tony's not there, it's just his team.
fuck, that's a
You don't
good
even
question.
remember?
I think Tony was there.
He might have been there just in disguise or what?
He might have been in disguise.
Got a little mustache
Might have been there.
Fake mustache.
The nose, the glasses with the nose. Wow, say, I don't know about this.
I
Say.
think that day he went by Anthony. I think Anthony was his alias there. Yeah. So yeah, we did the pitch to both of their teams and their CFOs or CPAs as well. And we had to do the whole song and dance, dude, and really have it pretty buttoned up.
Nice.
And we pulled it off, dude.
Well, you talked to Tony.
Which is kind of crazy because this was 8 years ago, right? So I'm 38. So I'm 30, and I got this.
That is pretty insane when you phrase it that way.
So
I'm 30.
Yeah, like, are you like wearing like a suit, like trying to be all profesh, or are you like
Jordan Hoffart in a suit,
Yeah, exactly.
bro,
Are you okay? Yeah, so that's
With-
what I was wondering. Like,
with Osiris's on.
yeah.
I'm pulling up in a 4-cylinder extended cab 01 Tacoma that's busted up. And
Sounds kinda cool, though.
I come with a backpack with all my files and a business plan
And a floppy disk.
and a floppy disk.
Birdhouse.
Probably. And we're going for it. But I mean, they're skateboarders, they get it. But what would be a good episode is interviewing them, like their thoughts on the pitch. Hindsight.
Let's do it. We gotta do it.
Years later, like. what
Wait,
were you
why?
thinking?
Why did you when you were pitching and you were reading the room, did you pick up a hesitancy? Did they light up? Were they like, yeah? Or were they like, I don't know, this 30-year-old guy that just rolled up with a half-ass suit and some fucking etnies is, I don't know if we should go with him. But like, you got the deal done. So it's all in the rearview mirror. But like,
it wasn't like it was just like cold call like that. There had been emails and calls prior.
You guys reaching out?
Yeah, exchanging information and kind of giving them the general scope. And it was more of like the signing day of actually coming in and going through the full spectrum.
but did Tony know you? Did Nija know you
Yeah,
already?
yeah.
Like on a friendship
yeah,
level.
Yeah.
So they weren't there though?
No, they were both there.
Okay, but incognito.
In retrospect of their own, it wasn't like we were all in a room together. It was Tony's team on one day and then, Nija's team on
So
another.
you got the meeting set up and you
Mm-hmm.
got the availability to pitch just because of the relationship that you guys had.
Correct,
And so that once their team was there to listen to your pitch, was it just you or you and Jared?
I know for Nija, it was just me. Tony, I can't. That one was a little vague. I think maybe I almost like blanked that one.
Like Will Ferrelling it? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know, what did I say?
It was a little overwhelming that I think I blanked it out of my memory, honestly. It just felt like, fuck, I'm pitching Tony Hawk on a business venture right now. This is crazy,
I mean, that is
Yeah.
when you say crazy, that is as crazy as you can get, right?
Yeah,
Like in your world,
Yeah.
that is that's the creme de la creme.
Yeah. No, 100%.
So you get it.
Yeah, I get it.
Do you get a call from his team or do you get a call from him?
I get a check when I leave. I got a signature and a check, and then I go and deposit that straight into the bank to buy some brewing equipment.
How often do you talk to Nigel or Tony or any of your other investors in Black Plague? Is
Honestly-
there a board? Is there a committee or whatever?
Honestly, it's been less lately, just because.
The trust is there already. That you do what you need to do.
Yeah, and they're busy. They're busy. I would
Tony's
like.
busy doing what?
It's I don't know what he does now. It's
He's like a musician now.
is he a musician?
Yeah.
So.
yeah. I've been seeing him do like those videos where
Dude,
like,
Tony Hawk, the last time I saw him, he was getting sock checked by Fools Gone Wild over there in Chicago
Oh,
Park.
yeah.
Sock check.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
You got it. You know.
I saw him in Tim Armstrong's
won't
recording
bring it up.
studio
He's
recently
got
too.
That's true. Yeah, he was with Tim.
Tim Armstrong's playing the Operation Ivy guitar, and like Tony Hawk was like all geeking out over that.
Tony Hawk can just kind of roll up to anything,
Yeah.
like whether it's a Rancid concert, Chicano Park, my wife giving birth. Like, he can just kind of like roll up and you're like, hey, Tony, what's up, dude? Come on, stick around.
He's kind of got that like Snoop Dogg, Tony.
Yeah.
Like they can literally do anything. They're like what in the Italian mob, like untouchable.
They're made.
Yeah.
They're made.
Untouchable. Yeah, they're made. Like they can literally do whatever the fuck they want. And
They
it's
really
just
can.
Like, oh, sick.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk. You know what I mean? It doesn't even fucking matter. Like I think Snoop Dogg did a Skechers shoe, which is like the lamest thing you could possibly do.
But he made it like cool.
And he made it cool, and everyone was like,
you're
oh,
like,
yeah,
it's Snoop Dogg,
like,
whatever.
this shit. Like, that's awesome. Go get your money, dude. And that's like the same with Tony. It's like you could do a Subway commercial.
Even if it was like those
Doesn't
those
fucking matter.
weird
It's Tony Hawk.
like thick heel Skechers shoes. Remember those? Like
they got
for a time?
sued. You know, they got sued
Yeah, I
because
know
of that.
because
Like,
they said it like helped
it
you
didn't
out.
do
and
anything.
Didn't do anything. Yeah.
Kim Kardashian. What's up? Oh, the like Shaq.
Shaq.
Oh yeah,
real quick.
Shaq does
Shaq
everything
falls
too.
in that same category.
Shaq is a DJ. So
Yeah.
our boys.
DJ Diesel, dude.
Yep.
Dude, our
Honestly,
boys. at
tell
the
me
Legion.
that should be a goal is to get Shaq on the show. That guy's my spirit animal, dude. He fucking has mastered every side fucking quest possible. Like he is the side quest master, dude.
Dude, DJ Diesel
Yeah.
was opened up the rugby championship. So we sponsor the Legion, right? And so I love the Legion. My boys went to the championship. They came up short, but in the big game, Shaq is there. I'm like, hold up, why is Shaq at a rugby championship?
Why isn't he there?
Yeah.
like,
I got slapped into consciousness again. I was like, why isn't he there? They're like, oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
He honestly seems like the raddest fucking dude like possible. And I think it's
Dude,
Huh?
Shaq can bring.
and he was a police officer.
Dude.
And I just feel like he never took himself that seriously, you know? When he wasn't on the court. On the court, like, all right, dude. But, like, Shaq Fu, like,
Yeah.
we're talking 30 years ago, he's doing Shaq Fu. And he's doing, like, Walmart brand Shaq. I mean, he's smart. His ego, I just feel like he's very in tune with what's going
He
on.
could bring back Pogs, honestly.
He could do whatever he wants. I'm a big fan, and I follow what he does, and I think he's a really smart guy.
Okay, well,
so
when
we have the
get
Mount
Shaq on the show,
Rushmore
you're coming in.
of Shaq, Tony Hawk, and Snoop.
That might break the internet.
We got like one more that we
Make
could
a
probably fit
t-shirt.
on there, maybe. Like,
Make a T-shirt,
Dude.
There's 4, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Canadian. I don't know.
You're nice enough to get them all on the show because they're all nice. Shaq,
Am I
Shaq's
wrong?
nice.
Those fit.
those fit,
Tony,
yeah, for sure.
Snoop Dogg,
Yeah.
and Shaq are like transcend every genre of everything.
They would literally all be able to talk about something.
Something.
Yeah. Whether it's an energy bar or a sparkling energy drink, they could do anything, and they'd be like, "Oh, you know what?" They'll find common ground really quick.
We'll think of a 4th. There's definitely some people that come to mind, but I don't want to botch it. Maybe The Rock. The Rock might be the 4th.
I feel like The Rock is a little too like. I don't know.
He's a little campy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not that cool.
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest, but no,
It's
you
not
need
at that level though.
caliber here. Caliber.
I mean-
Tony Hawk, the GOAT in his industry. Shaq, just the master of all. Like, he could do whatever the fuck he wants to. Honestly, Shaq can just whatever. And
Yeah.
he is. Yeah, fucking Shazam or whatever the hell. He is. Like, okay, he could do whatever the hell he wants. We'll make it happen.
We'll find a 4th.
But
It'll
anyways.
come to us.
For Black Plague, you seem to have a good board. The guys that are backing you, or gals that are backing you too, they believe in what you're creating,
Us.
what you guys are all creating.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that might be one of the coolest things about your brand and about what I would consider your leadership tier, because investors invest in the vision. They don't necessarily go down into the nuts and bolts, right away. So you're the pitch man. You and Jared, you're like, you got to be like, it's us. This is what we believe. And they believe in it. So that's pretty rad, dude.
Yeah.
I feel honored to know you 100%. You and Jared, I feel honored to know you guys. Me and Rick, we've always talked about Black Plague. We're like, dude, this is awesome. I'm super happy that you're in North Park. What does the future hold for you in your mind right now, or is it just like North Park and just let's relax?
No, and if I'm going to be honest, it's like they just changed the law on Type 23 license from 6 to 8 ancillary. So
I don't know what that means.
So 8. We can in total 8 tasting rooms, including the one at Black Plague. So we can have 7 ancillary tasting rooms.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
I didn't even know that was a thing.
yeah. So we're going for it responsibly.
Imperial Valley.
Yeah.
Calexico is getting a Black Plague. Is that what you're saying? All right. We'll reel it back. No, but so you guys are.
I don't want to rule it out. Let's just put it that way. I won't rule it out in this.
You guys, so your sights are set on expansion.
Yes. Absolutely. As soon as we opened this place, we had already gotten like tons of like, can't wait for Black Plague LA and Black Plague Long Beach or whatever. I'm just throwing
Shut up.
those
You're
comments.
thinking about it.
No, 100%. It's like you obviously don't.
1,000%.
You don't want to have them two in proximity of each other.
Right.
So that they're cannibalizing. We did notice a little bit of that from Escondido over to Oceanside. So I think it's far enough away, as expected a little bit. But, you want to have a foothold to where it's close enough for people to make the trek. And we've noticed it's about 15 miles, more give or take, is the proximity. So
Jeff, you have a long ways to wait for Calexico.
No, not if I come and pitch. I'm going to pitch.
he's pitching.
I'm going
He's
to
gonna come
bypass
in.
Jordan. I'm going to go straight to Nigel and
Going
Tony.
straight to Tony.
I'm like, listen, dude, check it out. The Imperial Valley needs Black Plague, and let me tell you why.
Yeah.
I'm thinking East County, my hood.
East County.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, you're onto something.
Yeah.
East County is probably a good spot.
Yeah.
We need
but
something.
As long as we have so it's all about responsible growth, right? I don't want to just keep shooting from the hip and we're over our heads and it's just not,
Sustainable.
Sustainable. Yeah. Exactly. So it's all about long-term growth for us, making sure that in doing so, we're creating a solid culture and, we're able to compensate our staff accordingly and give them a lifestyle that they can continue to live and thrive in Southern California, which is no easy task
It's
for
hard.
anybody.
It's hard in
super
this industry
difficult.
too.
So there's all those things that are playing into those decisions, but the tasting rooms are primarily what funds a lot of that growth. So as long as we have the systems and the policies in place, and we're constantly reevaluating and constantly upping the game in those and streamlining a lot of that stuff, and that's kind of what we want to do. I wouldn't put a ceiling on it as long as it's sustainable and it's responsible, I would say.
Well, let me tell you something, dude. We got to wrap this up, but one of the reasons besides you and Jared and the rest of the Black Plague team, being so generous and letting us shoot our first episode of this new show from your new location here in North Park. One of the real reasons why you were one of the first guest on our show is because you're the shit. I love you, man. I love your vision. I love your philosophy. I love what you're doing for the industry. I love how you're growing and at the rate you're doing it with that mindset. I think you guys are safe. I think you guys are good, and I'm going to continue to support you. I know everybody that's just listening to this is going to support you as well. So I just wanted to say thank you, not only for your friendship, but for what you're doing for the industry that we're all a part of, man. We're all in the beer industry around here, and if you're listening to this, you probably are too. So like-minded people, like-minded industry, like-minded, philosophies and stuff like that. That's what's going to make San Diego really continue to be the capital of craft beer and good times. So I appreciate what you're doing, and thank you so much for being on the show, dude.
Legend.
You're the legend, baby. You're the
Legend, baby.
You're the legend, dude.
And then circling back around, episode 69 of Dedicated to the Craft was Black Plague.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Boy.
69.
Respectfully.
And then,
yeah.
queefable is a thing.
Is it?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
wait. What is the direct?
So-
what is the actual definition of queefable?
So on Urban Dictionary, it's when something's good or exciting. Somebody says, guy 1, that roller coaster was ill. Guy 2, it was queefable.
Queefable. That is a new.
that is. I was today years old when I found out that queefable
Yeah.
was a thing.
And with every Urban Dictionary term that you look up, you could get the queefable mug as well on
Put the
Urban
link.
Dictionary.
Rick, we need to order those, and
Yeah,
they're going to be
I
on
was
the
gonna
next
say, is
one.
there an
We'll get those.
Amazon? I can do affiliates link.
Yeah, we'll do affiliates link there for
Jesus
that.
Christ. Anybody come over to Black Plague, any of their locations, but specifically our studio is in North Park. They just opened up. The place looks sick. It's dope. It's right next to the observatory. So whether you're in the mood for a beer or whether you're going to a show and you want to catch a pre-buzz or a post-buzz, get your ass in here. These guys are, you guys are probably one of the best crews that I've ever had the pleasure of encountering in this industry. So thank you for that. We are going to do a Yeah Dog right after this. Rick will do his editing magic, but you'll see it right now. Okay, dude? So thank you so much for tuning in to the very, very first episode of the Boil Over podcast. And I couldn't be more honored than to have Mr. Jordan Hoffart on our first show. Thank you, man.
Cue the music, baby.